Welcome to episode 17 of the Michigan Outdoors podcast. As always, I'm Tyler Mihai alongside a solo Justin Tomei today. We want to welcome entrepreneur.
As opposed to more than one of me?
Well, there's usually Steve.
Well, yep, that's
You're,
well, bad
you're
grammar.
the solo co-host.
Bad grammar.
All right. We want to welcome entrepreneur, outdoorsman, father, and co-founder of Network Outdoors, Brandon Malson. Network Outdoors has created an atmosphere that connects professional networking with the great outdoors. As a member-based company, there are nearly 20 chapters nationwide across 6 states. Chapters hold monthly events at shooting ranges, host corporate events, maintain a strategic network of guides and outfitters nationwide, and it's a great place to build your business while being close to nature with other like-minded individuals. And the Michigan Outdoors podcast is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and a video edition on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And if you're not already, follow us on Instagram as well at Michigan Outdoors Pod. And the Michigan Outdoors Podcast is proud to partner with Onyx Hunt. Join the millions of hunters who trust Onyx Hunt to help them fill their freezers. Create hunt strategies for your property with custom waypoints, view wind forecasts for individual stand sites, integrate with cell cameras, and so much more. Onyx is essential for hunters to understand property lines, find an eScout public land and other hunting spots, and all of the other tools to give yourself the best possible chance at a successful hunt. All current MUCC members are eligible for a 1-month free trial of Onyx Elite and an additional 20% off your annual membership. New MUCC members will get a free 3-month trial of Onyx Elite in their welcome email when signing up. To find your current membership discounts, log into your MUCC member portal and click on membership discounts to see all of the benefits of being an MUCC member. Join MUCC today to take advantage of these offers. All right, we are back. It is episode 18. How you guys doing?
Very good.
Good. Brandon, thanks for coming.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
First time out to the MUCC world headquarters.
Yeah, I'm surprised to hear it's your first time. Actually,
I know. I'm a Spartan, so
Go Green.
I'm familiar. Go White. I'm familiar with the area, but haven't been set foot inside the headquarters. So happy to be here for sure.
Yeah, a lot of taxidermy.
Yeah,
It's probably the main thing we have here.
awesome.
But
So you guys have Go Green, Go White.
Yeah.
I was at Cabela's picking up, arrows or something stupid. And I was wearing a Grand Valley shirt. I went to Grand Vallly. And the kid there goes, Laker up or anchor up or something
Anchor up.
stupid. And I'm like,
I think
what
they
are
have
you
the little
talking about, dude?
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it until I got home. But apparently that's the thing they said. We didn't have any of those stupid
You thought
things.
someone was just randomly telling you?
Apparently,
to
I
anchor
didn't.
up?
I didn't get it. Like we
That
didn't
really
have that at
ages
Grand Valley.
that ages you.
Oh yeah, I'm old.
That's been a thing for a while.
Fun Grand Valley story though. I was on a goalpost one time when it got tore down, so that was kind of cool. I was hanging on it, swinging my leg. I was a lot smaller, hanging on it, swinging my leg up as it came down.
No kidding.
When we went to the Natty my freshman year.
Who'd you beat? Was it a big upset or something?
No, we were. That was back when we were good.
Just excited?
We won every year. Yeah, we were all drunk and.
It would have been like Northwest Missouri State.
Yeah, it was like North Dakota State University or something. I don't know. There's some Division II school, and we were good. We went to the Natty like 3 times when I was in college. So
Rushed the field and came down with the goalpost.
yeah, it was the last time I went to a football game though too. I don't think I went back once because
Also, the last time a goalpost would have held your weight.
yeah. Also, fact check true. But actually, my roommate went with me, and he was twice the size I am now. He was huge. But yeah, no, I never went back to a game because it was just too much work, and Grand Valley sucked.
I've got season MSU tickets.
There you go.
Last 3 years, except they upped it this year, which explain to me how that makes sense.
Inflation.
Yeah, with a bad football team.
Yeah, I mean, where else are you going to go watch Aiden Childs fumble 4 times a game?
Any away stadium?
Oh yeah, that too.
Just kidding.
Hold on to the damn ball, dude.
I support he's older now. He was a freshman last year. We'll give him time. All right. Policy.
Victory for America. Victory for Michigan.
Victory for MSU.
There's like 3 of them. I'm a Spartan fan too, guys. I make fun of, but man, they suck right now.
Yeah.
NRC at the May meeting, they voted to reinstate antlered opportunity for the Liberty and Independent Sons. So this was an MUCC supported position. I testified the last couple months on it, spoke with commissioners. And if you didn't watch the video, I actually took the mount of my first buck, which I shot during either the first or second youth hunt, to the commission meeting and held it in front of their faces. And after they voted, John Walters is like, do you know why I didn't offer my amendment? Because he was going to provide an amendment to allow disabled hunters and veteran hunters to hunt bucks, but not the youth. And I called him later that afternoon. I said, so why didn't you do it? And I said, just so you know, John, Commissioner Walters, I'm super formal with our lobbyable officials. And I'm like, John, what? Just so you know, though, I've been telling everybody that I melted your icy heart with my story. And he got a good kick out of that. And he's like, you keep telling people. So as far as I'm concerned, my little 4-point that I shot in 2002 or whenever it was melted John Walters' icy heart.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you for my service. But in all seriousness, the commission voted to reopen it. So kids, hunters with disabilities, veteran hunters, they can shoot bucks again this fall. Again, they never could stop. But they're still allowed, basically, for the negligible amount of harvest, the negligible amount of effort, in terms of the total take for all of deer in Michigan. The commission decided to reinstate that opportunity. So that is an MUCC passed position that passed at our convention in March. Not unanimously, but more than 2/3. So it was a good representation of our membership. Still, the only argument, you guys, when you email me or MUCC and you're like, they're shooting my deer, that is not a good argument. Like that's just not.
How many people do that?
Dozens.
More than you would believe.
That is. I mean,
That's a bummer.
No, the commission, when they closed it last year, the argument was not they're shooting my deer. Their argument was, we want to destigmatize antlerless harvest in the parts of the state that need it. Yes, we agree. MUCC has policy to improve antlerless harvest in ways where we can. But the problem with this is there was no objective data point that anybody could look at and say, if we do this policy change, it will have this desired outcome. It was just purely speculation, an admirable goal. I think John Walters made a motion, something about getting some antlerless information into hunter safety. We would support that. That is a positive change. We do need to destigmatize some antlerless harvest in the places that need it. Again, in the places that need it, and which is not everywhere in the state. And so, if hunter safety is the answer, which was an idea that I had pitched to John, hopefully that can do it. I think that Michigan's problem not shooting does is a cultural problem and not a regulatory one. Like, I don't think that there's a regulatory lever that we haven't tried that we can throw that will increase antlerless harvest. So that is a victory for MUCC, victory for liberty and independence hunters. So that was a good thing that happened at the meeting. At the May meeting, they also postponed indefinitely the coyote reopening.
Love that word.
Yeah.
Indefinitely.
Well, it actually, if you haven't heard yet, that was a positive development.
Oh, okay.
So if they didn't do it that way, the order would have died at the end of the May meeting, and we would have had to start back from scratch at a future meeting, meaning request the thing, then you have to lay over for 30 days, which could actually put it out for 2 meetings.
To clarify that, it means you can only table for 1 meeting.
Correct. Okay. So postponing indefinitely, what that means is that the commission can bring it up at any time on old business. So it doesn't have to appear on the agenda. If they get to the June meeting, they could take action at the June meeting. There's nothing preventing them. This was a Robert's Rules of Order maneuver that had to be done in order to keep the order alive. So we're not saying that it's going to happen in June. It could happen in June. It could happen in July, August, September, October. Could happen in August of 2029. But the order stays alive now. We don't have to have like posting requirements and have it be on the agenda and all that stuff. So that was kind of a win. We obviously would have preferred that they just reopen the season following their legal charge and responsibility, but they did not. So the next meeting is in June in Bay City. There's no orders currently on the agenda for information or for action, for the commission or the director. So it should probably be a pretty fast meeting. But it is in Bay City. There'll be coffee with commissioners before the meeting.
So if the coyote vote is going to get put on the next meeting, how does that happen?
It could literally happen in the meeting when they get to old business and somebody go, I motion to bring this back. I don't know all the fancy Robert's Rules words that they'd have to say specifically, but they could just ask to bring it back in the meeting because it is just kind of perpetually on old business. That is my understanding of it anyways.
Because right now it's closed through
July
15th. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if they were to vote that, then would it still be closed until July 15th or would it take place in 2026?
Yeah. I don't know how much lag time there would be from passing the order to it being, I assume it has to get put in the state registrar and stuff. So there'd probably be some lag time, but we'd probably get a few weeks of the season back. So that's the goal. If it does happen in June, I'm going coyote hunting the day it's legal. Merle is going to take me. He doesn't know this yet. I do not think it will be difficult to convince him. But yeah, so there will be some lag time. Like I said, I assume they have to get signatures and get them filed with the state.
Yeah.
So it won't be like 5 o'clock that day you can hunt. It may be a few days, a few business days specifically, probably. But knowing how the state works, it probably takes 6 months or something stupid. But
2027.
no, but definitely for 2027. So, but I think we will be able to get a few weeks of the season back. That's it for the NRC. And then legislature wise, 2 MUCC supported bills. One of them was one that we actually sent to the rep. Got committee hearings last week. They will be voted on from time of recording 2 days from when I'm speaking right now. Those bills will get out of committee. They should pass the House, no problem, both of them. One of them is Hunter Safety in Schools bill. There will be a minor change to it, but it is a positive change. So nothing to worry about there. The other is a repeal of the pheasant release program sunset. So currently that program is set to end at the end of the 2025 release season. So like January 31st, 26 or something, it ends. This just repeals the sunset, keeps the program going indefinitely. But again, both MECC supported bills. I testified on both of them last week. They should get out of the House without much issue. And we'll see. We'll hopefully get some movement in the Senate after that. So really, it's all kind of positive right now. Legislature's being a little slow, a lot of budget talk. The Senate just passed the DNR budget last week. It got a pretty cold reception in the House.
Nice way to put it.
Not unexpectedly, but it got hit with some pretty hard political rhetoric when it went from the Senate to the House, as I suspect the House budget will when it goes the other way. So DNR budget, though, the one that passed the Senate, presumes there will be a license fee increase, and the funding in that bill is associated with a funding increase as proposed by Senators Cherry and Bumstead in Senate Bill 276. So to the tune of like $29 million more in the DNR is operating with this year. So yeah, we'll see how that all plays out. They're supposed to have the budget done by the end of June. Nobody's ever tested that constitutional requirement of the legislature, but I suspect we may this year.
How much is it going up? I listened. That was the last episode, or 16 and a half.
16 and a half. Yep.
I don't think they didn't say actual numbers of what they were going up, though, did they? Or did I miss it?
They referenced the blog on our website where we have all the actual numbers listed through whatever they delivered to us. We can pull it up real quick.
Yeah. So the DNR's proposal last year went up about 40% on average. This one, the goal is closer to 20% on average. But there's some neat mechanisms in it in the TIBARD bill, Senate Bill 277, which create automatic deposits in the Game and Fish Fund for basically any discounted license and a couple other things. So the Senate Bill, Senate 276, is a lesser burden on hunters and anglers and trappers than the DNR bill from last year, but creates roughly the same amount of revenue as the department's proposal last year. So like a deer tag, your combo tag will be $25 for each tag, so 50 total instead of 40 now. But any hunter that buys an antlerless tags, what they do in the new bill is they're also $25, but they have an 80% mandated discount. So for 2025, well, it wouldn't happen. It'd be 2026. So for 2026, your doe tag would only be $5, but the DNR would get automatically reimbursed the extra 20. So the DNR is still getting money as though it is a $25 tag, but the hunter is only paying $5.
I think in that podcast they were saying something like that's what's supposed to happen, but doesn't. But with this new thing, it will automatically happen. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So the way it happens now, it's in statute that the department or that the legislature is supposed to reimburse for like senior discounts and things like that, and they don't. And the reason they tell us they don't is because there's a constitutional prohibition against compelling one legislature to do something. And so the way that it currently exists, they have to do an appropriation and appropriate that money to reimburse. This new thing actually steals language and a mechanism from like school aid funding. Basically, it's like a do no harm. So this money is just automatically withdrawn at the collection of sales tax and deposited into Game and Fish. So there's no appropriation necessary. So the legislature can't box us out on that money again.
Yeah, and just to throw out some of those costs, base license $15, the hunt fish combo $100, complete license would be $150, all species fish $30, normal deer is $25, the antlerless is the $5, which is the 80% discount. Still have the senior discount and everything.
They add a child discount in this one, so instead of when your kid goes from mentor to apprentice, instead of it being a full price tag, it's whatever the $10 senior discount is, 60% of the regular price. So. Yeah, it is a much more thoughtful proposal than the one at the end of last year. Man, it's got an uphill battle. So, and just so everyone at home hears it, this is like Senate Bill 276 is not the solution. It is not the only way to solve DNR funding issues. It is a solution. It is also currently the only solution. So until somebody else that is dogging on the license fees puts out another proposal that we can look at on its merits, we're going to talk about license fees. So if somebody has an idea, we are all ears. I've pitched a few more stopgap ideas to legislators. They've gotten positive feedback. We'll see where it all goes.
Yeah. Anything else policy we got to touch on?
That's all I got. Unless you guys got questions about something. I guess the only other thing is I'm writing a bunch of bills this week, and basically every policy bill in our legislative priorities will hopefully have a bill associated with it. By the end of June, if not June, early fall, we should have a bill for just about everything in that book.
You have any questions on any policy?
There wasn't there someone just proposed some kind of bill, I thought, and I don't know the right legal jargon, but trying to bring back baiting to some capacity.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of bills that would.
Like an alert popped up in my email from I forget who. It could have been you guys. I
don't think it was us.
It was like the other day.
There's been a bunch of bills, like 3 different bills introduced.
Oh, no kidding.
That would create a baiting license.
What would happen then? You would you buy it and then you get to
to bait up to whatever the parameters in the bill are.
But everybody could do that?
For deer, yeah.
And then that money would go towards
into game and fish as the bills are written.
General fund or something like that?
Just the normal game and fish fund. So just DNR game and fish money.
People are getting creative.
Well, it's actually, I think it's bad policy it's bad politics. So MUCC doesn't support baiting because it's some non-zero method of disease transmission. Set that aside. I don't know how you can rail the DNR for the last 6 months for a cash grab for a license fee increase, and then create a new license for something people are already doing illegally. I just think it's bad politics, and I don't think it's, as a matter of principle, I also do not want the legislature involved in those day-to-day game management decisions. I prefer the legislature write a resolution and say, hey, commission, we want you to take another look at baiting. I mean, they just did it last year and it was unanimously defeated. So something pretty substantive would have to change for the commission act. But generally, I don't think, and MUCC doesn't think it's the role of the legislature to get involved in those day-to-day game management decisions.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And also, if you give people a license, they're not going to buy it. They're still just going to bait. People are baiting now. Like, I hunt up north in northern Michigan, and I might be the only person in the state forest that doesn't bait. And like, the people I know that do it, I don't think they're going to buy a license.
We were just talking before this that you hunt pretty close to where I hunt in northern Michigan, and there's a couple gas stations around there.
Yeah.
Man, they get delivered by the semi
at the roundabout.
Oh yeah, well, and then down the street, so down
right at 115 and
down 115,
37.
Yeah. Oh man,
that BP2.
Because I'll pass that to go on to the street that I go on, and which is amazing because I thought there was like things flying over and looking for certain colors in the ground, and I don't ever hear about people getting in trouble though about it.
That's happening though.
It should.
They do
if you're not allowed to do that.
So they do flyovers, and they'll get you if they notice it.
Yeah.
It's also, I mean,
but the semi trucks are dropping them off.
It's not illegal to sell it or own it. It's illegal to dump it on the ground and put a tree stand on it.
Days go by and like a whole pallets will be missing each day. It's crazy. But you're talking about on state land they do it too, not just private.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's
a move.
That's a ballsy move.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the DNR doesn't go looking for it, right? Like the amount of man time it would take to go look for bait piles.
I think they do around. So I'm in like Oakland County area. I'm pretty sure they go out onto Bald Mountain, and
if they see them, they'll write you. But like, I don't think they're just out looking specifically for bait piles only. The amount of man time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I scouted a whole place. I scouted a spot last year, way before season. Found these great runways, great spots, in and out, easy. Found my access, all this stuff, hang my stand. Go out there opening weekend, and I step out and I go to walk down there's an old fire trail that cuts through the woods. And I look down and I go, that wasn't there a month ago. And I walk down there and I look and I see a tree stand and I see a camera and I see a hole. and there was nothing in the hole. So he didn't have bait there at the time, but like
It was like a salt lick.
he had a mineral lick there. Yeah, like he had to have. Like, and so I'm like, well, I'm moving because he was only 150 yards from me. Right. I mean, the runway, the deer come from there and go right up to me. So like I just packed up my stand and moved somewhere else.
See, up there, that's too close. Down in Oakland County, that's far distance from
Yeah.
the next tree stand.
Yeah.
150 yards, that's
Exactly,
room.
Exactly.
That's room. So anyways, yes, there is baiting bills, a multitude of them. None of them are going to go anywhere. Like they may
Yeah.
pass the house, Senate won't touch them. They won't touch them. So yep, that's policy. Oh, I guess when's this coming out?
Before the next NRC.
2 weeks. Not before the policy board meeting. So there will be a policy board meeting that just happened when you hear this. That's all I got.
All right.
I don't know
like
what's
it.
going to happen at it. I just know that there will be one.
Yeah. All right. And now a message from our sponsor, the American Forest Foundation.
Your land is your legacy, but keeping it healthy and thriving means caring for it now and in the future. The Family Forest Carbon Program can help you do right by your land with guaranteed income, help developing a forest management plan, and advice from experts. If you own 30 acres or more of forest land in Michigan, Wisconsin, or Minnesota, you may be eligible to enroll in the Family Forest Carbon Program. Visit familyforestcarbon.org and enroll today.
Visit familyforestcarbon.com to see if you qualify for the Family Forest Carbon Program, and thank you to the American Forest Foundation for their partnership. All right, Brandon, before we get to Network Outdoors and what they do, let's talk about you first. I want to get into a little bit of your background. Where'd you grow up? How'd you get into hunting or fishing? And then just, where do you find yourself spending most of your time in outdoor pursuits?
I grew up. I don't think it's like most outdoorsmen because I didn't start hunting until a later age.
Same.
So my dad and family always took me out on the boat. We were always fishing and going out onto Lake St. Clair, and my family had a lake house up north, Michigan, and so we were always in the water and fishing and doing all sorts of stuff. But the hunting aspect didn't really come into play and I grew up in Rochester Hills area. Lived there most of my life. Still live there now. Went up to Michigan State, of course, for college, but the hunting side started at Michigan State. So my roommate, I'll give him a little plug, Andrew Miller. We were studying for finals and just stressed out to the max. And all of a sudden he pops in my room. We were living in a house off campus, and he's like, "Hey, you want to go up to Walmart and buy some cheap, rounds and some clays and go over to Rose Lake and fire off, break some clays and for a little
Where
break."
all the MSU students go to shoot.
Oh my
Rose
gosh.
Lake.
Well,
Yep, that's where I did.
I think it's free.
Yep,
I'm
yep.
pretty sure you just sign in your name with the DNR.
They
It's
check
all
your
good.
rounds, and as long as you have right
Yeah.
size shells, you're good.
Yep. And we had a thrower that mounted to a picnic table. So we pulled the picnic table over, did that, and then like a little hand thrower for a report pair. And that was the first time ever shooting a shotgun. And that was 20 years ago.
Mhm.
And I love shooting. That got me hooked. So I started doing a decent amount of that with him, and then got into hunting years later. But duck hunting, and now that's pretty much all I do.
Yeah. No, I'm actually very similar. I grew up shooting a little bit, but mainly fishing. I was always fishing with my dad and my grandpa. And then, MSU, my junior year, one of my buddies took me out duck hunting, and that was the first time I ever really hunted. And very similar story. So,
Yeah.
so you've been hunting for like, what, 20 years now?
No,
roughly, or-
shooting for 20 years. So I didn't even start hunting until 8 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So very, very recent. And that was because that same buddy was like, "Hey, it's real important for a lot of my friends to put in for the Harson's Island waterfowl opener. Throw your name in and see what happens."
Yeah.
So I did. Maybe I went pheasant hunting and stuff before, but just on the bird
Mhm.
preserves and clubs. But did that first time we were putting in, I hit for opening day.
Nice.
And then another one of our friends did. So we had a nice crew there, and
Mhm.
then started, I think right before that, went out for the September goose field hunt up in the Thumb, and then started getting into the food side of things and where your food comes from and processing. And it's been a downhill, uphill ever since then.
So what happened between the time where you went out and shot clays and you're like, okay, I'm hunting, and it might have just been because you applied to the, the waterfowl hunt, but in between that time, were you like, hey, I want to start hunting? Were you shooting more? Were you, and this is whatever? What was your kind of emotions or thoughts between those two events?
I've always been obsessed with business and just growth and investments and all sorts of stuff. So I've been always dialed into startups or just how businesses work. So in college was always part of different and that's all that's all I thought about. So podcasts I listened to, books that I read, videos that I watched, people that I had conversations with. It was always about starting companies and operating different opportunities. And so I was shooting guns in college, but I didn't continue after that until the whole I think it was a bachelor party. We went pheasant hunting, and then I got it put into the waterfowl opener, and that was it. But in between there, it was strictly business, man. That's all I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which is wild because
Yeah.
now my whole life revolves around, yes, business and outdoors, but hunting wise, very, very green.
Well, I think that's interesting because I'm an entrepreneur myself. I've started and sold a handful of companies. In college, I worked at the entrepreneurship department. I was very involved with a lot of other student startups and helping them get off the ground. And so I understand like the just obsession for entrepreneurship and growth and building a business and all of that. But I think the most successful entrepreneurs, they're really good at kind of combining their love of business and their biggest passion. And I think that's, especially from an entrepreneur, that's the easiest way to stay invested and stay involved, is when you're so passionate about something and those two passions overlap. I mean, that is when you genuinely don't feel like you're going to work. All you're thinking about is your business, and you're loving every bit about it because all you want to do is spend all your time in your business because it's what you love. And if you're doing outdoorsy stuff with the business side, I mean, that's kind of a perfect storm.
Yeah.
Right.
It's funny too, because before I graduated from Michigan State, I got an internship with an insurance company back in Metro Detroit, and they did all sorts of different insurance, but I was on the corporate side, or commercial insurance. And so I always looked at my job as going on a field trip every single day. So I'd get to go out and learn about all these different businesses and risks and where they started and how they grew or how they failed or what have you. And then got into the financial side of stuff. And then I worked for a client, and he was a big outdoorsman. And I literally was working sometimes 20 hours a day there. We were running a steel company, distribution operations, sales, logistics, and then the office staff. And that was my first time seeing how an entire business was ran. I go, gosh, if and he's a great guy. He got me involved in just different boards and networking groups and all sorts of stuff. So from there, I said, if they can do it, I think I'm going to take a shot and try to go on my own too. And so started my first company in staffing and recruiting, and since then I've been involved in a lot of different things.
Do you think that your start in recruiting and staffing helped kind of spark or give you a better understanding of what a professional networking company is like? Like, I assume that was probably a fairly easy transition, right? Because I think the biggest issue or the toughest difficulty of starting a networking company or networking organization is differentiating yourself, because especially in Detroit, I've worked with so many different professional networking groups where you go and meet once a week and they do events and they kind of all feel the same, right? Like, it's like, I'm only here to meet these people. I'm trying to get out of it what I can, but there's not always a lot of value outside of the connections, which is obviously a big part. But I think that's something the Network Outdoors does really well, is you differentiate, and you guys are outdoors, and that's where your people really are. Can you tell us a little bit more about Network Outdoors and just kind of what that transition was from maybe your first company to Network Outdoors?
Yeah, I certainly don't want to. I don't want to bash. Yes, we're a different type of networking group. Don't want to bash. I'm still part of Chambers of Commerce and do coffee talks and do the speed dating of
Yep.
networking, and it all works. That's the thing. Like, it all works. It's
Do people speed date still? Like actual?
I don't know. I've been dating.
Professionally.
Well, no, I know.
I think there's apps now for that.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, my buddy met his wife when that was still taboo. I remember in 2008 mocking him mercilessly for meeting a gal online, and they've been married and have 3 kids now.
I've been to a few weddings where they've met on different
but I
apps,
didn't-
and it's unbelievable.
But I've always imagined speed dating is like an 80s thing. Like, it's what old people, dude.
I mean, yeah.
Well, they
I
have
don't know.
speed networking now.
Yeah.
And so
Do
we
they really?
don't, oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yep.
It's
Mhm.
2 minutes, go around a table, and then you go to the next table. And it's
You get
it's
real good at your elevator pitch.
very calculated. Yeah. We don't do that at Network Outdoors.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's a bad method. We just something we haven't
Yeah.
adopted. But don't be fooled by the gray in the beard. If I don't have this, I look like a 12-year-old. And so I was
Same.
very self-conscious when I graduated college, trying to talk to business professionals and owners and CFOs about business risk. They're looking at me like, one, you just, I don't even know if you graduated college because you look like you're 12 years old. And now you're telling me what I need to do and spend money with so I was, there's a lot of hurdles that came along with that. I had great mentors. I've always had great mentors, and they were always part of big time networking opportunities. Detroit Athletic Club, for instance. So they threw me in there, and then I started joining youth and just as much as I could get exposed to. And we would start smaller networking groups to be successful in the larger ones.
Mhm.
And then always being a part of different networking opportunities. And then in the recruiting world, I started a company with a number of people and some investors that actually connected recruiters around the country to work together, split fees, and do. So there was a lot of it's always been networking. And so full circle, I'll wrap it up with this. I was at deer camp, and I'm looking at deer camp, and there's a guy that flies a private jet down there, has a truck waiting in a hangar, and comes over to deer camp for the week. And then there's another guy who saves up all of his PTO, and this is his only trip of the entire year to go down there. And there were 13 of us in this deer property. And when we're around the bonfire, though, we're all just deer hunters.
Mhm.
And then when it doesn't matter where we're coming from or what our business is, we're all passionate about that. And then when we leave there, we're walking away with each other's cell phone numbers. We're texting each other pictures of our family fishing or down in Florida or up north or whatever. And I'm thinking, and then me and a guy named Justin Smith, we were driving out to Montana, and we were like, man, if we could, like, that is the goal of going to any networking event, walking away with real friendships and to stay in touch with people for a period of time. How can we do this for the business community? And then in September 2021, we put on our first networking. We call it a monthly meetup in Clarkston, Michigan, Oakland County Sportsman Club. And I'm a foodie, so let's eat some food, break some bread. Let's get to know each other. We just invited business owners at that first one. And then we went around, instead of a 30-second business commercial like you normally would at a networking group, we say a 30-second outdoor story. I also joke because nobody has a 30-second outdoor story, but I limit it to one, and then to try to make some connection. And then we go shoot clays.
So what's your go-to story? What's your go-to 30-second story for
Whatever I did that week. And so I am fortunate enough now that I'm out and about every week doing something. And now I have a little soon to be this Friday 5-year-old, and now I'm getting him involved in everything. So a lot of times recently it's all about what he's done out there or what we've done together as a family. Or if I just get back from a trip, I'll share that. But it's I try to mix it up every single. I try to go to a decent amount of meetups every month too, and I don't want to say the same thing.
So what's the most recent story then?
Most recent story.
Pretend we're networking. Well, we're doing it right now. What's your story?
Yeah. So we went to, you guys mentioned the mentor youth license.
Mhm.
So my son's 4, he'll be 5 in a week. And I got him that this year. And so he wanted to go to deer camp, and then he wanted to go to turkey camp, and he's been hearing calls and stuff since he was born. And I brought him there. And before that, we were, and so I sum it up in like a 1-minute, 2-minute deal. But long story short, in order to go to deer camp or turkey camp, you have to practice what you're going to shoot. And so I've got a crossbow for him. We're set up in my backyard out of the blind, and I've got a decoy set up. And he took 2 shots at a decoy. And I told him where to shoot first time, where to shoot second time. He's dialed in. We're going to turkey camp. So we did. And just all the things that happened there. I mean, we found morel mushrooms. We didn't shoot a turkey, but we got one within 40 yards. With him, it needs to be 15, and it has to be at the decoy to get it in the scope, or I'm not,
Right.
he's not going to be hanging out taking a shot. He needs it a perfect setup.
I'm with you.
But he got a turkey to gobble back at him, and clenched his little fist and he's like, yes, I got it. A turkey so that whole thing gets me fired up these days.
I think did you post some pictures of that on Instagram?
Of him using the box
Yep.
call and the owl hooter.
Yeah. No, it looked awesome.
So fun fact, the DNR does those like turkey hunter surveys for every species. But, but for the turkey hunting one, they ask if you had a satisfied hunt. And for most hunters, hearing a single gobble constitutes a successful hunt for them. Like hunter satisfaction for turkey hunters is extremely high. And for most hunters, like 80-something%, I want to say, don't hold me to that. But for some really, really high number, merely hearing a gobble means that their entire season was a success. So it's kind of cool.
That is interesting. It's funny. Mike Mitchell, who's part of the network and working with you guys a little bit here, we were at his place. And so he says, hey, Henry, my son, what do you like better, deer hunting or turkey hunting? And he's like, turkey hunting. He goes, I didn't see any deer when I went out.
I could tell you're a good parent already. Turkey hunting's where it's at.
Yeah, no, he had a good time. I mean, I was fired up as a turkey hunter. That thing was drumming, spitting around us in a circle around. He saw him get into a fight. Yeah. And then they went out into the field, and that's when he got him to respond back. But it was really neat.
This was his first turkey season.
Yeah. I got my first bird this year.
In a day and a half, he got everything. Like we had birds going in the roost, and then we were chasing them and calling. They'd come back, and then they'd get pulled away by a hen, and we'd chase them. We'd move up, and we did that for a while. We almost road banged one, which is where you drive around and find a bird.
Yeah.
And then the next morning with Carl from MTPCA, Carl called in of Tom. Like 400 yards across the field, we watched his bird come into this decoy set. Came right in, and he was air humping. I mean,
vocal too.
Oh yeah.
Oh my!
It was a great hunt.
We had probably 10 toms within 200 yards.
Yeah, there was a group over here, and then the one he
sweet.
shot another group over there, and the one came all the way across a bare field, like 400 yards into him. So then,
and I think I shot him at 10 or 11.
Yeah, it was like 11 yards. So it was super.
Close, yeah.
That's cool. Shotgun.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. My shotgun. Yeah. Zip tied sight and everything.
Yeah. Hey, it gets you out there and it gets it done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I've got shotguns, but I'm like, I don't have a designated turkey gun yet, and I knew his is sighted in, so I'm like, I'll just use yours.
Killed a lot of birds with that gun.
It was fun.
That's the one thing. Your turkey hunting gun, you need a dedicated turkey gun. Shotguns can do everything, but I am of the mind that you need a dedicated turkey gun, and so go buy one. Tell your wife that I said so. And it'll work.
It doesn't have to be fancy either.
No,
most of the time they're not.
It's the one he shot with my old shotgun is a Mossberg 535.
Yeah,
but it's like overboard down to a 12, so it's a 10 gauge down to a 12 double X full. I mean,
that's cool.
It's a sweet gun,
yeah.
And I've killed a lot of birds with it. But it went click one time on a big tom,
and
I'm like, I'm going to use this as an excuse to buy a new one, and I just went out and bought an 835 instead. But yeah, they don't need to be fancy. It's just I think you need a dedicated turkey gun. You can make your duck gun or your upland gun do anything else. But as Rick learned, another first-time hunter we took with, he had just a shotgun that he put a choke in, and he knocked down the second biggest bird I've ever seen in my life. And it flopped onto private and ran off. And I'm like, man, if he only had my old gun or my shotgun. Instead.
Well, in the 3.5, you have a 3.5.
I shoot 3.5.
I have a 3, and I mean, number one, the kick from a 3.5 with a turkey load in it and a light gun is next level.
He's like, I want to pattern your gun. I'm like, Tyler, you just trust me. That gun's going to kill a turkey. Like I killed birds 62 yards with that gun. That gun will kill birds.
Oh,
like you don't need to shoot it.
So I shot the first one, no adrenaline, and I'm like, holy shit! The next day, I'm like, oh my
it's like
God.
A 4.5 pound shotgun.
Well, and I shoot shotguns all the time.
3.5 inch mag.
Yeah, and
I'm used
turkey
to load will put you back.
Mm-hmm. So I think that was my first turkey load I ever shot, and I was like, oh, yep, that'll do it.
When I was 12 and shot my first 13, when I shot my first turkey, I was a little tiny scrawny. I sat in my dad's lap because he knew, and he did not let me shoot that gun before I shot other guns. But he knew if I shot that gun, I'd probably never shoot again. It'd put you on your ass.
Well, my favorite thing though is that first shot. I had ear pro and everything on. I shot it. I'm like, man, that kicks. I don't remember shooting it when I had that bird in.
Oh,
it's the adrenaline. It didn't hurt. I didn't hear it. I felt nothing. It's just amazing how much. I mean, and I know that from deer hunting, obviously. But when you shoot a turkey, there's nothing but adrenaline.
There's nothing better than having Tom go and gobbling in your face.
Yes. It's unbelievable.
You cannot beat it. I mean, I guess probably like bow hunting and elk would be better.
Yes.
But
even, I mean, we're sitting on, in one spot and we hear noise. We hear a hen and all of a sudden this hen flies and she landed within 5 yards of us, like behind us.
Oh,
We couldn't
yeah.
move.
It was when we were chasing those toms opening morning.
And I had no idea where this bird was, but I can hear her breathing. I can hear her wings moving. And I'm like,
And then she went up
5
over
yards,
us.
5
I mean, yeah,
yards.
it was stupid close.
Yeah.
She came in quiet. We had no idea she was there, and then all of a sudden she is on top of us behind us.
And we can't move because we're facing away from her.
Yeah,
and
toms
we're
are in
like-
front of us.
So it was an awesome experience. I will be turkey hunting forever now.
Turkey hunting, yeah,
You're
it's
welcome.
unbelievable.
Thank you. All right. Well, we've talked about all this. I don't think we've actually gotten into what Network Outdoors does. So if you want to give us kind of the whole pitch of Network Outdoors for the viewers so they can kind of understand what you guys do.
I appreciate that. So we started off as a business owners group to come together and network for business. What it turned into is outdoor enthusiasts reaching out to us saying, "Hey, I'm sick of duck hunting by myself. I'm sick of turkey hunting by myself. I've always been an avid bass fisherman. I'm trying to get into fly fishing. Don't know where to start. I don't own a business. I'm not in a business development function. I could care less about any of that, but I still want to join your group to be with other like-minded individuals." And so we got together and we're like, "Hey, kind of a cool, it's not always B2B. There's B2C stuff too. And this could be a lot more impactful if we open it up." So that's what we did a few months later. And now about half the membership is outdoor enthusiasts. Half the membership is someone in a business function looking to grow their business. But at the same time, we're all outdoors men and women.
Mhm.
And so that's what it's about. So we're connecting individuals through outdoor experiences.
Yeah, I like that you said that because I was going to ask how much of it is actually the professional side and how much is just, wanting to make friends and just wanting to network outdoors, literally.
Yeah, I try to keep it in all so each chapter has a leader, and we try to keep it. Nobody's coming in there selling product or service, and if we really try to make that apparent, and if that happens, we'll have small little conversations, side conversations like, "Hey, not really the place to do that at our monthly meetups. That's just let's get together. Like I said, break some bread, talk about events, talk about some nonprofits that we're working with, and then let's go shoot some clays." Some people hang out after that. Usually it takes about 2 hours, or some folks, go home. And we also have a whole list of different events that we do throughout the year, locally, around the state, bigger deals abroad. We're going to Canada in a couple weeks here. There's a funny outdoor story that Mike shares about my last year with that. I'll say that in a second here, but you guys mentioned elk. We do a annual archery elk hunt on public land in Utah. We do all a bunch of different stuff, and it could be like a little river cleanup gathering. It could be let's go shoot a round of sporting clays, or let's do something big.
Yeah. How many chapters you guys up to now?
We started expanding pretty fast, and I thought that was a great idea. It was actually a mistake I made, it definitely in Michigan. Our first chapter was started in Clarkston, and it grew to a nice size. And then we took that, and people were driving like an hour and a half or 45 minutes. And we found that 35-minute mark is really the furthest people want to drive after work and to go home. And so we thought it would be a good idea to take that group and break it up into 4. And I think we even started a 5th one too. And we thought we were covering the bases. What it did though is just, and we thought all those individual ones were going to build back up to what we were doing in Clarkston, and it wasn't the case. You start going to smaller events, and guests would show up, but there'd be 4 people there or 6 people there, and where it was much larger at the original one. So what we've done now is we brought it all back. So now there's a Detroit group. There's or call it Southeast Michigan. There's Grand Rapids. And then we have Saginaw Bay, and then we have a Northwest Michigan. I think on our website it says Northeast Michigan, but it's actually Frankfort, Traverse City. I got to change that.
Oh, yeah, that's way west.
Yeah. And then we have Maryland. And then we have Austin, Texas. We have our second biggest chapter is actually in Tucson, Arizona. We have a Phoenix group. We have a small Chicago, Colorado, and then now we're relaunching a Nashville chapter. And then on the 26th of next month, we will have a St. Pete, Clearwater Beach, Florida chapter.
Awesome.
Pretty excited about that.
How many members you guys up to now? I mean, you're growing pretty quickly, it looks like.
Yeah, there's definitely some some churn for a number of different reasons. It's all healthy sometimes, but we're in between we're right on the 250 mark.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what year was Network Outdoors founded?
September 2021.
2021.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty impressive then. In, 4 to 5 years, you've already grown up to 250 members in 6 states. I mean, that's awesome. What
some people will be like, oh my gosh, there are thousands of people, and I'm we're going to start this chapter and there's going to be hundreds. And, it's, people need to grow their business. And then they also, there's, we all have hobbies, and then there's also families. And so where you fall on the priority list and where, it takes on, and you guys probably experience that here with MUCC. It's, where do you fall on the priority list? So we're trying to cover bases, get families involved, make it a little more sticky.
Yeah. So what kind of things, I mean, if I become a member, what kind of thing can I look forward to then? You talked about clay shoots, you talked about going and doing
bow
elk
hunting in
hunt.
Utah.
Yeah. Like what are some
got my attention.
Yeah, what are some of those like other big things that you guys get to do that are really cool?
Yeah. Well, we bow hunting in Utah. So I was just looking. I am out of shape. I'm severely out of shape at the moment, and you need to be in good shape in order to go bow hunting in Utah. And I'm committed to go again this year. And the first year I went, I had no idea what I was getting myself into.
Nope.
Last year was my second year, had a little more of an understanding, but all the time, and we saw elk every day, multiple times every single day. However, when we saw them, I was exhausted, and you're just like, if I was more prepared and in better shape, and you can't really do anything in Michigan with the altitude stuff, but, and we're only out there for a week, but if I was not like huffing and puffing and carrying my bow and the whole deal, I probably could have been way more successful. And so I started, and then today I took a week off, and then I ran stairs and stuff this morning.
Yep.
I'm sitting in this chair like I'm feeling it already
at
right
low
now.
altitude too.
Oh yeah.
That's what people don't get. So I moved to Colorado right after college, lived there for a handful of years. I remember my first elk hunt, and people don't get, I mean, you're not really hunting, you're hiking carrying a gun.
Oh yeah.
Like it is the only thing you can train for is just endurance. Like you still got to be able to shoot, you got to be able to scout, you got to know where everything's at. But if you don't train endurance like incredibly well, you are going to die because it is so hard to hike.
You guys should come out this year.
Yeah.
Don't tease me with a good time. I've been trying to go out west for 10 years.
I'm telling you what.
Are you going to beep the word?
Blast.
No, I just would love to watch you hike up a mountain.
No, are you going to beep the word?
Probably.
All right. My friends are all wusses. They're all scared.
Hey, it's a guy came out last year that just to fish because the fishing's lights out.
Yeah.
And we fish, we eat the fish, and we'll do spike camp. We have a base camp or 2 hours from the nearest, anything. So you're remote. It's a lot of fun. But to get back to the question, we do so every chapter has a monthly shoot, and it's a very scheduled agenda. It's 5:30 or 6 o'clock. You meet up, and it lasts 2 hours. And so the first half hour is eating food and networking. Your traditional just chatting it up. Then we do introductions. That's where we go around. We say name, company you work for, and then the outdoor story to try to bring in some connection. We do a little event update, any nonprofit work coming up that we want to rally people around. And then we go for the last hour. We give out ammo, safety, ears, eyes, any guns that people need to use, do a safety talk, and then we go shoot trap or skeet or 5-stand or whatever the club has there. So we do that every single month. And then in between there, we'll do, like right now, we have I think it's 4th annual turkey hunting competition. It's nationwide. There's 200 plus odd. Yes, you need to get your bird in there because you are part of it.
Yeah, no, so we found that out.
Oh, that rat bastard, Steve.
Yeah.
Oh.
So once I shot my bird, did everything, processed it, got home the next 3 days after that.
3 days after I shot my bird.
Yeah, so it was probably 4 days after I shot my bird. Steve tells us we're in the competition, and
he signed you guys up.
Yeah,
he didn't tell us.
Oh,
So
no.
we
didn't take any of the
we
pictures.
didn't take spur pictures or measurements. I didn't take a picture of the beard. I have everything, but I'm just
so
had I known, I would have taken pictures. Steve never told us.
Maybe Steve should come to the office and talk to us sometime.
So it's not that we
That's
didn't
why
shoot
he's
birds.
missing here today.
Well, guess who in this room didn't shoot a bird this year?
Oh, okay.
Well, he's not in the room. but he didn't. So yeah, we would have submitted both of our
Yeah.
birds, but we didn't take any of the pictures because we
Like
didn't know.
I had a double beard Jake. Got 8 inches out of a Jake on a
No
beard.
kidding.
Yeah. It was like 5. It was 5 3/4 and 2 1/4, 5 and 2
A
3/4.
double bearded Jake.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
I shot a 4 bearded Jake one year, but
Really?
it totaled like 3 inches.
That's still cool though.
It was
That's
really cool. But yeah, he didn't tell us, so we had no idea.
Oh, that's a bummer.
So we did shoot birds. We did not submit them because we did not know.
Steve
Okay.
Wyndham has never shot a bird as long as I know.
So
him.
next
I'm gonna
year-
throw him under the bus for not telling us.
Next year we will place.
Next year. Well, how about this? You guys are still welcome to come out to the oh wow. That's wild.
3:30 p.m. last day of season.
That's awesome. Well, you guys are still more than welcome to come down to, and everybody that's part of the contest is welcome. We do an awards dinner on June 20th at Hunters Creek in
Okay,
Metamora.
yeah.
And so our sponsors, we have 6 sponsors, I think, this year, phenomenal companies that are involved in Network Outdoors, and the food, they put a nice spread on. There's trophies, there's a bunch of stuff. So we'll maybe I'll make up a certificate
Tell Steve.
specifically for Steve.
Oh,
Say
I
it
would-
right now. Steve's not invited.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
No, we can get him a certificate.
Yeah.
That would
We'll
be
come
fun.
up
Well,
with
I'm gonna give him a
something.
certificate.
We'll come up with something. I like it. So we do national stuff like that. We do our first event that we ever put on was a duck camp, and we rented out a little house on Harson's Island, and that's turned into now running out a yacht club and surrounding houses and having a bunch of stuff go on. So people show up on a Friday, eat either a steak dinner. I think last year we did brisket and a big deal, open bar, and then we do some fishing and then we duck hunt in the morning. Some people stay the whole weekend. A lot of fun.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll definitely be at the awards ceremony, but I mean, you guys do a lot of
I
cool.
can't make that promise. I gotta look at my calendar.
Well, hey, if you can make it, we're
Yeah.
more than welcome to come out. But we do we partner up with groups like yours,
Mhm.
and so one of our first things that we sponsored was the youth charity shoot that you have at Multi Lakes,
Yep.
which is one of the locations that we also
Yep.
have a monthly meetup at, and we encourage every chapter to rally around one to call it 4 nonprofits a year, and get people involved to help further their missions and give back to conservation, the outdoors. So we always say it's new hunters, new anglers, land, waterways, and our veterans.
No, I love it. I mean, I think it's so important too, especially, there's that corporate social responsibility too of people in business and wanting to, if you guys are kind of surrounding your mission around conservation, what better way than to work with the nonprofits that are spending every day
Yeah.
focusing on that conservation. So we appreciate that. Outside of the events and stuff though, I mean, you guys, sounds like you do a ton of cool events and challenges and tournaments and stuff like that. What are the benefits for a member? I mean, obviously you get to go to the events, you get the networking, you get to meet people. Outside of that, what are the other reasons to join?
We've toyed around with what could we add that's universal across every chapter. And what I found out, and what me and some of the other leaders have found out, every chapter is a little different. So there's not just like this is going to work in everywhere. Every chapter in Michigan is different from each other, and they all kind of want different things. So if you join Network Outdoors, aside from the T-shirt and the sticker that you get and the welcome letter, we have a back end of our website. It's like a little social media deal where you make a profile, you can join groups and share your stories and pictures and invite people to things. So let's say you're available on Thursday to go walleye fishing on Detroit River. Well, we have a number of members that are out there almost every single day, would love to take people out on their boats. And so you can go on there and say, hey, I'm available this Thursday. Or if you have your boat yourself and you don't want to go by yourself, hey, I've got 3 available seats. Anybody wants to go with me? So we're trying to connect people that way.
Well, and I think too, that's such a huge thing just for recruitment of hunters, right? Because I think one of the biggest barriers to entry, I mean, I'm a duck hunter myself. I've only been doing it for 5-6 years. I've got all the gear, I've got spots, but at the same time, it's like, I know if I'm going with someone else that knows probably more than I do, our combined efforts are going to be more successful, and I'm more willing to go out with someone else. I'll go hunt alone, I'll do my own stuff. but I love the opportunity to go with other people. But it can be really hard for new hunters to find those friends or those mentors to go hunting with. So I think just from a recruitment standpoint, that's huge in just getting those, not new hunters, but less comfortable hunters and anglers, and getting them out into the woods and water more, and just kind of getting them into that environment more so.
Some
Yeah.
people would say the biggest obstacle to duck hunting, not me, some people would say, is that it's during deer season. So we should shoot ducks in spring instead, and then I can hunt. Some people.
They look beautiful in the spring.
Yeah.
I have a problem going duck hunting because deer is my primary source of protein.
It's tough.
And like, I can go shoot stupid trash fish bird, or I can go shoot an amazing majestic white-tailed deer.
I've got a Drake wood duck sitting in my canal right now that he comes like every day, and I look at him and I'm like, God, I can't wait for waterfowl season.
I'm tasked with bringing home a Drake Woody this year.
Yeah.
I've never legally waterfowl hunted in my entire life. And
You've never legally?
no, legally, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Legally, yeah. Because I just deer hunt, and I've been tasked with bringing home a Drake Woody and getting him mounted because my wife likes wood ducks.
The next wood Drake I shoot, it will be mounted.
Me too.
For sure. Yeah.
That was my first mount.
Yeah. They're just such beautiful birds.
Absolutely.
And they're maybe going to become our new state duck.
Maybe, probably,
Oh,
maybe. Who knows?
that'd be cool.
Dude, there's so many of those bills every year, and they never do anything.
Yeah.
So on Wednesdays, so we had to figure out a way to satisfy. So we went hard at business at first, and then we went hard at let's keep business away. But really, you join a club and pay a fee like that it is to be a member of Network Outdoors, because you have a business that you want to grow mainly, or you're retired and you want to hang out with other folks. So we have we have one member that's 19 years old and one member that just turned 90.
Wow.
And so it's like everything in between. And to satisfy the business folks that aren't able to push product and service on our monthly meetups, every Wednesday morning we do a virtual Zoom, and it's traditional networking. So there's a coffee from 6:45 to 7, and then from 7 to 8 there's a traditional agenda. There's a weekly ask. There's a 10-minute presentation, and then we everybody puts their name in, and someone wins a $50 gift card, and then that person presents at the next week. And so that's been taking some traction. We're going to roll that out to other states now that we've been doing it in Michigan, but it's statewide.
So just finding that healthy balance of business and just being outdoors.
And that's strictly business, but of course it's with a bunch of outdoors men and women that are, coffee talk is around.
I mean, you're never having a Zoom call where someone's not pulling out their phone showing a trail cam picture.
Oh yeah, whitetail deer is typically brought up in every conversation.
I would imagine.
I don't care what you're talking about.
I know our audience. I know what they do.
Yeah. Now the folks down in Arizona, they have some interesting, really strategic partnerships with different clubs and whatnot, where they get discounted and reciprocal golf memberships and a bunch of different things. So if you're a member of Network Outdoors up here and you go down there, you can utilize those. And so we're building out different deals like that, or guides. Some outfitters give us really good deals. And of course, for our own events, we get good deals, but then we try to pass those on to our members. Some hotels and stuff where we're staying. We want to, if our members go there, they mention Network Outdoors, they get. So we're trying to do a bunch of different stuff like that.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of value. There's a lot of great people you're going to meet, a lot of great events. Anything else you want to throw out that, give your last little elevator pitch, or why should someone join Network Outdoors? I mean, go ahead.
Well, some people will go to the website, and we're not shy about how much it costs. It's on the website. You can apply to be a member, and there's varying degrees of membership. What people normally do is they come out and they are a guest for one time, or sometimes a handful of times. I'm okay with all that stuff. I think more the merrier at our events, especially if you're a guest and referred by another member. But if you're not, come check us out. There's ways to get involved from just a conservation, and I want to support and be outdoors for $100 a month. And then there's the top individual membership is about $100 a year is the conservation. You pay $100 and you can come out to all of our events, kind of pay as you go deal. And then there's $100 a month, which gets you everything. Your ammo's taken care of, your range time, your food, you can go to all the meetups, a lot of different stuff. And then all of our corporate members pay $4,900 and above per year.
I mean, shoot, $100 a month. That's basically the cost of ammo nowadays, right?
Yeah, so we have to buy it in like seriously bulk
Yeah.
Yeah.
to make sure. 'Cause sometimes we hand out 2 boxes of ammo. We're going to shoot twice. We're getting
Yeah.
food. We have to join all the clubs that we shoot at. You don't, and so and we're part of a bunch of private clubs that we try to make the experience unique.
You talked a lot about shooting shotguns. You ever shoot spooky black guns at any of these events?
There's some guys that are definitely interested in doing that.
Or bolt guns for that matter.
Yeah, some people like to bring out, or we'll meet before and we'll go to a certain range and do black powder or, different double, whatever it is. But for the
Well,
actual,
I'm talking like ARs and AKs.
absolutely.
Okay.
So we had a Dallas chapter that was our first Network Outdoors indoors, and it was at the Frisco Gun Club.
Okay.
And down there you can shoot full auto.
Right.
So we'd have Prosper Firearms bring in like on wheels boxes and just unload everything that had suppressors and fully auto and 9 mils, and I mean it was a real good time. But
I
you
bet.
rip
America.
through
Yeah.
ammo.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
So we'd always try to get an ammo sponsor because that's like
Yeah.
it's
Oh.
out of
Or
control.
with like an AR, you shoot, 2 seconds, and it's like, all right, there's $20.
I hear I
Oh,
see
yeah.
those news reports like he was arrested with a cache of 1,000 rounds of ammo. And I'm like, 1,000 rounds isn't even a quick range day.
No.
Goes
Like it's
fast.
not even worth going to the range with me and my buddies with only 1,000 rounds of ammo.
I went down there for a handful of the meetups, and that was my first time shooting full auto. And well, it was just, I mean, I shot all of them, but I just remember it just kept rising
Yeah,
on me.
yeah.
And then the barrel was so hot. Mind
Yeah.
you, we're also in Dallas, Texas, that we were holding it in front of the air conditioner to cool it down to let the next person shoot. It was wild.
Yeah, I've never shot full auto. It's on my list. I shot my first suppressed gun this year, and
Okay.
that was cool in itself.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I am waiting for the full auto chance for sure. Might be Texas, might be Vegas. Who
Hey,
knows?
we'll get you out there.
Yeah. Hey, let me know.
Some people would say, just go do it. Not me.
Some people would say that.
Not
yes.
not in Michigan. We're not allowed to
Yeah,
do that in
yeah.
Michigan, but there's plenty of places where you can have.
I think there's some indoor ranges in Michigan.
Yeah, you can rent. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can rent some.
I think there's one in
places.
Lansing that lets you do. I think
Is
they
there?
have like a
Maybe,
M4
yeah.
that you can rent. Yeah.
A lot of talk's been bringing a chapter to the Lansing area, and being a college alma mater,
Yeah.
it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of good folks up here doing a lot of. I mean, obviously the headquarters from UCC's in the area, so could be next on the docket. But let's get these Nashville and
Yeah.
Get them going first.
And,
Your
yeah.
Florida chapter.
yeah, because the Florida chapter every other month we're gonna do like a fishing charter.
Exactly.
So I'm trying to really have a good excuse to get down
Yeah,
there.
there's some
every other month.
strategy. Yeah.
There's always strategy.
Love it. All right. Well, Brandon, thank you. Go visit Network Outdoors at networkoutdoors.com. Follow them on social. And now a quick word from our partner. The Michigan Outdoors Podcast is proud to partner with Giant Mouse Knives, a Michigan-based company born from a shared vision in 2015 to create knives that combine exceptional design, top-tier craftsmanship, and a strong sense of community. At Giant Mouse, every knife is crafted with care and purpose. From the first sketches to the final production, the team ensures that each blade meets the highest standards. Whether you're in the field, on the water, or tackling your next outdoor adventure, Giant Mouse knives are built to perform and made to last. Explore their full lineup of exceptional everyday carry knives at giantmouse.com and follow them on social at Giant Mouse Knives for updates on new releases and exclusive drops. MUCC members receive an exclusive 25% off their order with the discount code found in your member portal. Giant Mouse Knives, knives done right. Brandon, have you seen Giant Mouse Knives yet?
They breasted a turkey pretty good with this one.
Oh yeah. So I've obviously I know them through you guys now.
Yeah. Have you held one yet?
I have not held one yet.
Pick one up. Pick up that orange one. I believe that's the Jutland. That's my personal favorite, and just feel the action on it.
It's pretty nice. No springs.
Really?
Yeah, just straight.
Look at that.
They're badass knives.
They're so smooth.
Now, do they how do they talk about the process of making the handle on it?
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
I was wondering if because some people started getting into like 3D printing them and whatnot,
Oh,
or are they
that actually would be
because
cool.
I wonder what it is, but I'm not sure if it's a 3D print or it's the
that's
when they're going
G10,
against the
I'm pretty
grinder.
sure.
Yeah.
This is sweet.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
they're cool knives. So.
Sharp.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You do the hair test on it.
Grab that piece of paper.
You can shave with it. Yeah.
Really? Look at that. If anybody can
Clean.
check that out.
We had the founder in here.
I
and
was holding it like this too. Like
he
that was
opened a
good.
knife and did this with it, and he's like, I
Yeah.
probably should have done this before.
And these are like demo knives. So these have been taken to
Yeah,
shows.
I'm
These
sure
are-
you guys have.
and they're
Actually,
still that sharp.
the Riv, the silver one there, is a brand new one. That one hasn't
And you
been
know where
anywhere.
the Riv was named after.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked him, I go, where's the Michigan State Pocket Knife Center for Academic Excellence? Because they're all named after bars. So, cool.
Yeah. So Giant Mouse Knives, great partner. Really great knives.
The
as well.
Riv.
Yep. I think there's another MSU one too.
They used to do a burger and like the Riv was like
Rama.
a Thursday. Yeah, Burger Rama. That's what it was.
Yeah. I've heard rumors that it's not on Thursdays anymore.
Mm.
And I think it's
Bastards.
like a Saturday because that was like the thing.
Oh, I've waited in plenty of lines for Burger Rama on Thursdays.
Yeah. I mean, my dad tells me stories about him waiting in line.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
been
cool.
30, 40 years.
They had the
That's-
big Jenga
Yep.
thing
Oh,
out there too. And
I mean, the bar hasn't changed at all. It looks,
Awesome.
It
looks
was
the
just
same.
cheap burgers on Thursday nights.
So when I've heard, I mean, it always increases. My dad told me it was like 25-cent burgers, 25-cent.
I was there
wings.
for $1, and then
Yeah.
you got like $5 pitchers.
Yep.
But you throw darts, and you know it's a cool spot. It's right in the corner too.
Half the reason I went to Grand Valley is because there wasn't all that stuff. And they finally opened a bar like across the street from my apartment. And they had $1.50 PBRs all day, every day, which they got rid of for everybody but me and my roommates because we were friends with the bartenders. And then I got in so much trouble for this one. There was happy hour, $10 for a burger basket and a pitcher of beer.
Mm.
And it was immediately preceding one of my classes of a sensitive nature that I'll tell you about off camera because I show up to this class quite a
I mean,
after happy hour.
I used to literally leave. We had a team workout at noon. I would leave our team workout, go home and change, and just go right to the Riv every
Yeah.
Thursday. Yeah.
America.
Yep.
Cool.
All right. Well,
Thanks, Brandon.
we have two quick MECC housekeeping updates. On June 13th, we have our West Side Charity Shoot. That's going to be in Alto, Michigan. Registration is open and on the website. And then we also, July 25th, have the Mike Avery golf outing, which I believe you attended last year, right?
Both of those.
Yeah. Oh, you were. You were at the West
Oh
Side
yeah,
too.
we had our ADA, our Grand Rapids
Yep.
chapter. They represented us there at the West Side Shoot.
Are you going to be there this year?
I won't be, but we will have a team there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mike Avery said I'll be at the golf outing, so he superseded Amy.
All right.
His name's on the thing, so I have to go golfing now.
Darn.
Shucks, I'm really upset about it. We didn't have a ton of fun last year.
Yeah, not at all. But yeah, so West Side Charity Shoot, June 13th, Mike Avery Golf Outing, July 25th. And that is going to wrap it up for us for episode 18th. Brandon, thank you again for coming. It's been great.
Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you guys very much for
Yep.
having me out. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. And we will see everyone next episode.